listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Outside the Box here on a Monday night. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, criticalmassradio.co.uk. What an awesome day so far, you know, what a treat this afternoon. Earlier today, well, standard, from 2 until, 3:30 anyway. Paul Giovanni had Sivan Bomer on with him, and Sivan went straight into pure download, and it was awesome. So I was sitting back, kind of just having a little chuckle, listening, and, you know, my little coloring book out, my crayons, connecting dots and stuff, and I had a chance to pop on with Paul after Sivan for a few minutes just to share, you know, my own thoughts of what sheer brilliance got delivered to the table again, which is, you know, one of the reasons why when Sivan shows up, I just let him roll and we have fun and we learn all sorts of stuff. For those that want that, I think I have shared it on Facebook, and I know Paul had mentioned he will get it up on the criticalmassradio.co.uk archives by tomorrow, so it'll be actually available on the site. Pretty much all shows are available there anyway, but this one in particular is definitely one you'll want to listen to quite a few times. And one of the reasons why I say that is because while you may not understand in the physical sense the concepts that Sivan is sharing, don't worry, the real you hears it, and you'll hear those locks over the coming days popping loose. And you'll wonder what it is, but I'll tell you that's exactly what it is. Because one of the things that the true nature of you, is fully aware of, is truth. And while your ears and eyes may not hear or see it in the physical sense, these truth resonations, like the resonance tone of a bell that you cannot see, hear, and will travel through the void of a vacuum, that's what's happening. That carrier wave is carrying through, and the truth will hit home. Just keep revisiting things multiple times. You know, one pass, especially the kind of stuff that gets dealt out like that, is not enough. Had to listen to Bill Donahue, of course, after the show, just to kind of chill my own brain out. And lo and behold, what was the name of the one he uploaded today? The Great Wedding. Isn't that funny how it all comes into play? Indeed, it is the Great Wedding. For those that are not completely familiar with the concept of the bride and bridegroom, they're allegorical statements that have been made very physical. It's essentially when you let go of the physical ego, that's when the bridegroom shows up to let loose your creation ability. These are very, very heady. I can't even really talk about them that much. They're just realities for me, and they are, in most cases, beyond words to share in a few sentences. And one of the reasons why I spend so much time writing essays, where I can sit with my thoughts quietly and, you know, try to put them together where people can get them. And, you know, I do my best. And yes, there are a lot of writings on my website, so I do want to go through and start putting certain things together with certain things that will make a clearer picture of the evolution of where we were and where we are and where we're going, right? Because you're not going to know where you are until you know where you've been, and you're certainly not going to know where you're going until you know where you are. So it's the Trinity, right? Past, present, future, all wrapped up in the same instant of now. Unfortunately, most people get caught in the vice of time or the victim mode, and they live by reliving past moments, and that's the broken calculator that will never calculate anything properly. And of course, with that in mind, then they will transfer that whole miscalculated nonsense into a future reality based on calendars and all sorts of other mind tricks of the spirit trap here. And and you're going to expect something good out of that? Yeah. Well, good luck with that. You know, you got to clear the palate. You know, it's like wine. Wine's of truth. Funny how that works. Before you have a meal, they suggested to clear the palate with a glass of wine, right? So clear the Narmer palate with big bucket of truth, right? And that's the thing about truth. You can never get your fill. And that's a fact. So I am working on on an essay right now called The Spirit Trap, to try to outline it in very simplistic terms. And I'm going to go over to Facebook, because Sean had posted something extremely relevant. Well, everyone always does. I can prove everything relevant. Give me enough time, and I'll find the angle for it. See, you're right. You're going to be right every time. It just depends on where you're standing. But I thought this very poignant, given the conversation that Sivan had with Paul today, and of course what we've been talking about for the last long while with regards to the name. And that's effectively what Spirit Trap is going to zero in on. It's going to zero in on the spiritual trap, or the spiritual contract that people just... It is such an overwhelming thing to realize that anything attached to your legal name has you enslaved as a spiritual or soul slave, right? Where your true essence is being siphoned off. And look at the word siphonic. Psi, spirit, phonic, sound, siphoned. And that's exactly how it's siphoned off. That's how your energy is taken from you in this physical sense. And it's all trapped in the language, or the tongue pledge. Right? So keep that in mind. Every word, every sound. As I was talking to Paul earlier today, I'm going to get to your post in the section. Just want to preamble with this. Now that I forgot what I was just going to say, it doesn't matter. I'll just looked at it and it just hit me. So here we go. Let me get into Sean's, and then I'll come back to what I was talking about. Okay. Now this is a post from Sean on Facebook. Thank you very much for this. This is a nice grab, by the way. As we delve further into the abyss that is the name fraud, there are, as it were, landmarks. Early on, it's all about definitions and terms, legalities, and deceptions. As we dig a little deeper, it becomes a personal journey of discovery, as we realize how attached we have become to the name. The question soon becomes, well, if I am not a name, well, what am I? My own investigations, sometimes being rapid learning curves, and at other times have led nowhere significant. And then I found these profound comments on naming activity and reification given to adepts by the Buddha. Many already know the Buddha said all the world is Maya, or mind. Of course, Maya also means illusion. That's what I want to get to, the duality of sound. That's what separated our light. So here, we continue on here. So Buddha, here he talks more specifically about the naming activity. The naming activity is known as namarupa, to reify or reification. And of course, I'll delve into those words in terms of the phonics. Remember, the sound of phi is sacred geometry, pure creation, 1.618, the golden mean, if you will. Okay, so now listen to the word again. Or it could be Rhea, right? So there's Mother Earth, Gaia. So Rhea, Phi, Ka, Shun, which is Spirit Shun. So the creation of Spirit Shun. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a very positive direction. Yeah, me either. Okay. Now, reification is to regard or treat an abstraction as if it had concrete material existence. In essence, it is giving an ethereal concept body, matter, energy, creation. If you give a name creation, what are you creating? Well, you're creating the demon of that. The invisible demon that is not under your control until you understand this. Best get that demon off your little back, huh? I think so. It'd be a great idea. So naming or tagging, tying, labeling, categorizing, codifying, and every one of those words has so much in it, just looking at them. Anyway, creates division and separation. Yes, it does. The naming activity is used as a means of controlling. Identifying with the name is pigeonholing. continuous reference of a false identity, or id entity, more accurately pronounced, binding the person's sense of self to their name, which is a minimalization or occulting, hiding the true essence of self. You know, when someone thinks that they are just a name, what are they then? Well, they are the personification of that demon, that system mark of the beast. That's the beast. And, of course, the whore loves those little beasts to feed on. It's a reducing of natural spatial awareness, reducing all that you are to the persona of a name, summing your entire universe creation. You are all the universe. Look at how pigeonholed that is. Pigeonholed right down to a name, or a non-applicable magnetic electric, which for me is removing it makes you the now applicable magnetic electric. All right, so I think we are living in a material universe because of the naming activity. Naming activity is the basis of false identification of self. All of our identifications are wrong. You are not your body. Check. You are not your mind. Check. You are not your higher self. Check. You are the source of all these and more. You are the source. Pure source. Source. Let that ring for a little bit. That is our true being. There is nothing less. Everything else is a vehicle. Nothingness is not a void. It is freedom from the naming activity. And yes, I also agree, Sean. I think we are getting somewhere. And for me, every spiral out always spirals back into the same point, and the same point is the name. And I think I've only got a paragraph or two because I was in a zone and I kind of left the zone and what have you. So I'll read a little bit of this essay that I have going here. And oh yeah, just saying goodnight to Ninja. She was going to be she caught the early show today, and yes, it was excellent. And yeah, have fun and sleep well when you get there. And much love for everything you do, Ninja. I'll tell you, if it wasn't for you, wow. See what I mean? We do this together. All right, so I've only got a little bit of this, but I think there's enough in this to raise a bit more awareness of it. You know, because I still get emails. I got another one or two or three today regarding specific things that people, you know, what do I do in this situation? What do I do in that? Okay, I'm going to answer that very, very simply. I don't know your life. I don't know your experience. I don't know your spiritual contracts. I don't know your situation, but I do understand your doubts. I do get that. And they're exactly the same ones that I had, that I didn't have anybody to go to, so I simply followed my heart. If something I felt was not good or benevolent, I stopped doing it, regardless of consequence. That's simple. And I cannot tell anyone to do or not do something. That is entirely up to you. But I will make it very clear. I will make it crystal clear. The card table that you are sitting at right now has your entire reality, your soul, your pure source on the table. What are you willing to do to make sure you don't lose it? And I know these are not the easy questions to ask. They never are. But I asked myself these things. Let me see. Constant repetition of being a meat stick, Groundhog Day after Groundhog Day, to the point where either I wake up or fall even deeper into the void, soon to become non-existent, or do that now. Oh, well, hey, shit, there you go. I'm going to do it now because I got a really cool level of awareness, and anyone tuned into this show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. No point in waiting around, huh? No time like the pre-sent, huh? So it's time to pull up the big boy manties and big girl panties and get on with it. I don't know how you're going to handle the gas bill or the electricity bill or the mortgage. I'm going to tell you how I handle it. I just stopped doing it. But I'll tell you something. That was 3 years ago. Am I still here? I'd say I'm kicking and screaming pretty good. And I've been through the mill for the exact reason that I don't want anyone else to have to do it. And the joy of my game is I've been able to peel off countless layers of this system that you don't have to fucking deal with. Let's just say I took that big roller coaster, as a few of us have done this. I've taken that really, really big roller coaster, and we've been jumping on it for so long that it's almost flat. And you're still afraid to get on the fucking ride. Just a ride. We took all the big hills out of it and all the bumpy bits. You got the clear, pure truth of knowing what the name is. I didn't have this 3 years ago. This has been my quest. So what part of this are people getting? No name, no spiritual contact. Oh, but Kate, I love my bank accounts and I love my family and I love my... I know you do. I know that. So what's your point? Oh, I know, you can't let go. That's right. Most children can't let go of the skirt hem from mama. I get that. I had a hell of a time ripping myself away from it myself. But you got to do it, or it's okay. Don't worry about it. That dead whore will keep you going until you're dead anyway, so knock yourself out. So let me share this little bit of fun with you. And I cannot make it any clearer, because when people finally get this, you will experience the same thing I did. The system cannot come anywhere near you. And to do so, once you have this truth shield up of knowing you're not the name, when you finally let go of your fucking blankie, that's when the real shields show up. That's when the helpers show up. But I know you haven't seen this yet. I and many others have. And we'll stand on the rooftops and we'll scream it until you finally figure it out, or just fall flat in your face. Either way, that's your choice. I love you enough to say that's your choice, and that's something I would do. And it's not like I didn't yell. It's not like I didn't, sit around 7 nights a week, because I've got nothing better with my life to do than cater to your needs. You're not the one that's been running around trying to keep on the air for the last 2 years. You're not the one that had everything. And I'm not using this as a victim statement. I'm trying to show a contrast of what you don't have to go through. Put this in the fucking mirror, guys. All right? I don't know how you're going to handle your individual. I know there are many people out there that are handling it, and they're doing beautiful at it. They know who they are. They're getting this shit. They're getting what I'm talking about. And they're seeing the magic for themselves. How many times do I have to read beautiful stories from beautiful beings that know their beautiful reality? And still, people have to ask the same questions. I am not here as the replacement for the mother whore of system to wipe your bottoms and wipe your noses for you. No, I've kicked everyone out of my nest a while back. And those still clinging to the nest, I'm just going to pick your fingers off until you either fall or learn how to fly. And either way, I'm going to let nature take its course. That's what any good mother bird will do. And sometimes the kids aren't ready to fly when mama pushes them out of the nest, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? This is where you learn to sink or swim, and I'm talking about sync up with reality. So here's a little bit of the spirit, what I've got so far. If one is using a name in any way, shape, or form, then one is in spiritual contract with intent to do so. It is therefore easy to see how much entanglement it has within the spiritual trap, given that all of humanity, for the most part, believes they cannot exist without a name. What is funniest about this is that the very names we use or have used were created by someone else, which in turn binds us to someone else's creation. especially one that was freely given in full ignorance by its creators, namely one's parents or other family member. So let's set up the logical proofs that every hungry ego needs to satiate all of its little doubts that I run into every single day. I'll do this with a few simple questions that require a simple yes or no answer. When you agree to do anything outside of yourself, you are in a contract with that external entity, yes or no? Of course you are. When you claim to own someone else's creation that was given to someone or something else fully, does that make you a thief if you use it once you know this? Of course it does. Is ignorance or belligerent emotions of reaction a good defensive position in any situation, yes or no? Oh, definitely not. Is it to someone else to sort out your contracts and the current situation of awareness once a basic truth is exposed? Yes or no? Definitely not up to someone else. It's up to you. We've each found ourselves in the exact same spirit trap, albeit from billions of different perspectives or life-in-a-body experiences. Where some of us found the trap and chose to extricate ourselves from it, countless others who see the trap are unwilling, in varying degrees, to take the requisite steps to make themselves known by and of their actions, and simply exchange the system whoremother with someone who is apparently going to save them. I offer to them the same operations manual they offered me. Oh, yeah, right, they didn't. Let me make this as clear and as simple as possible for everyone. There is one thread that binds the whole system together, keeps it destructively chugging along, allows for all our energy to be siphoned off by our consent, and truly is the one ring to rule us all until we cut this most vile of umbilical cords from ourselves. You see, the instant someone talks about name and all of the things that are attached to it, you get overwhelmed immediately with the depth of the trap that you are in. Because, sorry to tell you, everything in your current reality has always revolved around your name. As soon as you could understand what that sound was, that it was referring to you, and as soon as you learned how to write it out, of course you go to school and they drill it into you. You get completely separated from the true form that you are, pure source. When you start seeing the world of having no name, you immediately become overwhelmed at how deep people are ingrained in this game. People have no longer the ability to imagine their lives without one. That was the point of the trick. Let's make humanity so dependent upon a name that they don't own and that is attached to a curse that will keep us draining their power. As long as they keep doing that, we own their soul. And yes, they do. Lucky you, huh? Stop and think about that for a sec. I'll tell you, the biggest problem people run into is they look at everything at the same time. They get overwhelmed completely. Oh my God, my home, my family, my life, my car, my everything, my banks, my this, my that, my holy shit. Everything is attached to the name. How do I get out? Stop using it. But I know I've had the butts. Trust me. You think for 1 second I didn't ask the same question you're asking? You don't think for 1 second I was as terrified? Difference being, 3-4 years ago, I didn't have this knowledge that you have. So quit your fucking whinging. Huh? I'll tell you what. Why don't you use the same things that you wrote up for me? Oh, right, you didn't. Are you starting to see the gift now? When is enough going to be enough for people? How much more do I and others have to do in order to get you with your lips off the whore's tits? Where are you going to make the move? Where you're going to finally decide that your pure creative essence is worth far more than anything this physical, tricky reality is going to ever give. Are you so deceived into one single meat stick that you forgot your God? We are at the culmination point, in a point of our creative game, our history, that is like none other that we have ever experienced. We are at the forefront of ending it all, babies. We are the ones that are standing at the forefront of the Alamo that is going to take this whole thing down. And I'm not just talking Earth. I'm talking universe-wide. You want to play a role in that, or you want to sit and cry and whinge about how tough it's going to be because all of a sudden you might not have all the treats that your ego and the rest of it normally just lusts after? If you want to get an idea of the path that I have walked, I want each and every one of you, those that haven't been making the efforts, get off your seat right now and take a walk to your front door. All you're going to have, a pair of shoes, depending on the weather, I'll even let you pick whatever jacket you want to wear. Okay? I want you to empty all your pockets. I want nothing in your pockets. The only thing you can take with you is a cell phone. That's the only thing I had. And what I want you to do right now is open the front door of your house, apartment, whatever the case may be. I want you to turn around, lock the door, and throw the fucking keys away. Now walk. How's that feel? And people whinge at me and cry at me because they want to figure out how to do this and that and the other. That's the level of game I play. And lucky for you, it's probably not minus 20 where you are. Or colder. Lucky for you, you might even have a pair of boots on instead of a pair of shoes. And a light spring jacket. I'm trying to give you the contrast. What have you got to bitch about? Do you have food in your belly? Do you have family around you? Do you have a place to put your head tonight? So what are your problems? Really? I'll tell you what keeps me going is the sheer knowledge that no matter how bad I could have cried around and whinged myself, I also knew that there are far more on this planet that had it 1,000 times worse than me. So I learned to shut up. Oh, I've cried my rivers. I've been in more situations that would shake people down to the core of themselves. But I stood in the face of it, and I said, no, sorry, not going to yield your nonsense. And that's all this system has. It's got fear as its only tool. As long as they can keep you buying the illusion that somehow you're not God, you'll think you're a meat stick, and you'll be in fear. And then you'll be asking the same questions over and over and over and over. Excuse me. Excuse me. Until you finally decide that instead of asking the same question over and over, you might answer it for yourself. So what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, there's more than enough information on my website. Lots of stuff there that for even the beginner to start shutting stuff down. There's still the I who shall not be legally named. Very effective tool once you know what it's actually saying. If you want to give every one of those documents gunpowder of the highest magnitude, just get the concept about the name. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. And I have come across so many people that it doesn't matter what I write, how long I talk to them, they're still pussies. They just don't understand that, oh, what do you mean? I actually have to read this stuff? I actually have to understand it? And I actually have to stand up for myself? You're not going to be my mommy or daddy and beat them up? No, sorry. I beat them up. You got the tools to do it. takes a little effort, though. But lazy, slothful egos generally don't like doing the work. They'd rather have somebody else do it for them. But that's what this system has conditioned to each and every one of us. And I get it. I totally get it. But there's no way in hell I can go one-on-one with every issue that everyone has. There's not a chance. And as I said the other day, the only ones I will go one-on-one with are the ones that get what it is I'm talking about, are standing on 2 feet, are going face first into the beast because they've already made the effort to do so. And I know a truther and someone that's standing in their power when I see them. And I also know what a gimme is. I don't play with those. They are the ant to the system elephant. It's not that I don't care. I do. That's the problem. I care enough to help, and I care enough to let you fail and fall all by yourself. Not something I want to watch, but I can watch it now. Well, hopefully they'll learn this time. And if they don't, well, hopefully they'll learn next time. So other than that, the answers are very simple. They really are. And perhaps maybe you might decide that my life is as important as yours, because I thought yours was as important as mine. It's why I do what I do. The longer people persist in well, I'm not sure yet, Kate. I'm afeared. I say, great. Well, the longer it takes you, the longer it takes for this whole thing to unfold. And as long as you're comfortable with me, slugging it out every night, because it's whatever, I'm going to do it anyway, because I know there are ones out there that are getting it, and that's the only reason I keep doing it. Not for the ones who don't get it. What is the saying? God helps those that help themselves. Well, if I was God, and I am, that's what I do. And that's what everyone else can say too, if they're doing it. But the real question is your comfort more important than my pain? And that's really what it boils down to at the end of the day. And there are many people out there that are walking the same path I am, that have been through the mill, that are enduring a lot of shit, waiting for everyone and working to help everyone awaken. We don't have to wake everybody up. We just got to get enough people out there, and for me, it's just the one's got to get this concept. I just need the one card to finish that whole straight. One card. And this system is a one-trick pony. It's only got one trick in the name. That's it. And the longer you use it, the longer you fall for it. And then all of a sudden the ego goes crazy here. Oh, okay, what do I do? What do I do? It says you don't have to do anything right now. What you need to do is simply get it. And if you haven't read everything on my website, then get there and read. I didn't write that shit for posterity, you know? Professional drifter, indeed. I'm very grateful for what I have. I do have a place to put my head at night now. I have a base to operate from for as long as I need to, or as long as it's here. Right now, I am able to deliver. The universe has me. Funny how that happens. Yeah, I may still live out of a handful of bags and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. It's certainly a far cry from what the majority of people on this planet have, so I count my blessings, and I'm very grateful for what I do have. Yeah, I used to have a driveway I used to bitch about shoveling. There's nothing I'd love more than to bitch about that right now. Yeah, had a couple of daughters that I had to go and pick up from school. I dropped them off and picked them up every day. And some days it was just, God, I hate nothing more than, I'd love nothing more than to do that right now. A lot of things that I would love to do right now. But for me, there are far more important things to be done that not only includes them, but it includes you and your children and everyone else on this planet. Because I will never be free until we all are. That's the game I'm playing. And I know a lot of people are playing the same game, and for that and for those individuals, I am extremely grateful. Thank you. You see the bigger picture. You see outside of self. You see outside of self in that everything is self. That's the bigger picture. It's not about the individual situations any longer. That's the ego. And the more you awaken, the more you expand your perspectives on this thing, and the bigger this whole picture gets. And then you start seeing the connectivity of all. That all things like racial discrimination, any form of separation, nationality, culture, any of that, you see it for the ruse and the pitiful joke that it is in a clear divide and conquer construct. I don't play that game. Don't play that game. I just don't. I was raised to be divided. Kind of what happens when you're in a family from Belfast, Northern Ireland. You're raised with that whole separation notion. And not only that, not only are you raised with it, you get to experience the bomb blasts, the shaking of the ground and the booms from across the city. Just to reinforce it, to make sure did you get it? Do you get it? Okay. Oh yeah. I'm not sure how many people in Canada and US and a few other places have ever had to experience that. Gives you certainly a different perspective on life. You actually begin to value it. And I'll tell you, you start to see the lunacy and the sheer psychopathy of this whole divide and conquer game that everyone's buying into. Your bank accounts divide and conquer you. Your work divides and conquers you. Your schools divide and conquer you. Your churches do it. Everything in this society is designed for one and one thing only, to keep you as divided as possible. And nothing has been more divisive than the very words we use, that everyone takes for granted. Everyone has been speaking English, willy-nilly, out go the word, blah, blah, blah. And up until a very short while ago, those that weren't in the know had no idea what we were doing to ourselves with every word we uttered. We just took it for granted because, well, this is how we were taught. Yeah, made tight indeed. No one had the notion that there was some sort of mystical, magical power contained in a word that sounds the same, yet spelled differently with different meanings attached to it. No one had given much of a thought to the fact that a sound in one language could mean something entirely different in another. But it's still the same sound. And what Sivan was talking about today was very, very, very crucial, pivotal. You, the individual point of consciousness, I talked about this ages ago, and it's beautiful to see how it comes full circle. You are the only one that knows your name. You are the only one that hears that frequency inside of you. You are completely original. There are no two vibrations or frequencies alike in this universe. You are one of a kind. Oh, there is a resonation frequency. You might want to talk about the binary star thing here, but I won't get into that. What I will talk about is, what makes you think it's on this planet? Right? Wow. Anyway, you are one of a kind. There's not one copyright allowed for you. That's the thing about your completely unique signature. Yeah, Cygnus Ature Overture. Your divine feminine song, your divine feminine overture. You are one of a kind. I'm going to keep saying that until you get this. See, and that's the exact same thing that is used in words. Problem was, the instant a sound was given two meanings. See what happens? It's divided. Did you mean this or did you mean that? Did your king mean this or did your king mean that? And out of habit, we've gotten used to hearing words. I've said countless words tonight that have alternative meanings in the sound. But because of the habit of the language, for those that speak English, or any language, doesn't matter, it works in every language, same thing. You get very comfortable with the meter of the language, what it sounds like. So you can assume and presume what somebody is saying without the need to spell everything out. And that's the trick. That's getting comfortable in the complacency of the habit called language. And as soon as we got really, really, really comfortable with it, we never gave it a second thought. And that's exactly what the system was banking on, those that control it. Maybe we'll forget this. Yeah, maybe. Well, we did, but we're not forgetting any longer. Yeah, maybe we forgot something. Now you might have an idea as to why you've been divided and conquered away from Source. If you have an individual frequency that is only yours, which you do, and another frequency or a sound gets attached to you, name, that is someone else's creation, parents, family, whoever, that is given away to Crown, Corporation, Dead Whore Mother, that you use, how many divisions and how many conquerings do you need? How many do you want? Because right there, before you even got out of Mama, you got a bucket full sitting waiting. What'll separate you from the system is the minute you separate from it. And you separate it from it in your mind. You just got to get these concepts. And I will tell you, once you get the concepts, any of these silly questions that people need to ask, and I keep bringing this up, I would like to get into specifics with things, but I tell you, the wrestling match that goes on within me is like, how fucking clear do I have to be? You lose the name, you win the game. It's how it works. If you are spiritually bound to that name in any way, shape, or form, any emotional attachment to it, that is a thread, Pinocchio. That is a string that keeps you a puppet on a master's puppet strings. In your mind and heart, you must cut them all. That's where it begins and that's where it ends. It does get to be very comfortable after a while. Then you just cannot see things any other way, and you'll wonder how you got duped so deeply. We're coming out of the sleep now. How quickly you or anybody comes out of the sleep is entirely up to you. This I know. I still got to ask questions about passport. Geez, how many shows do I have to do on that? That was 3 years ago, guys. Go back to the archives around then. I talked about it in great length. The only thing that came out of that was of any relevance to me was the British High Consulate, the Crown itself, actually telling me in very clear and no uncertain terms that any use of the name was, in fact, fraud. Write that down if you must. Or call the Ottawa Consulate and talk to them. See if you can ask the right questions to get the right answers. I had a little motivation, though, you see. I had to get my dad's ashes back to Ireland. Last will and testament thing, right? Yeah, you want to do your thing. So my sister and I, we did our thing. I did it completely outside of it, outside the system, and she did it completely inside the system. Yep, the only thing they gave me was an emergency passport. On my terms. That was the difference. Okay, so enough about that. How are you going to handle this and that and the other thing? Well, that's entirely up to you. I don't know what contracts you're in. I don't know what kind of situations. I don't know you. I only know me. I don't even know my experience. I can only share my experience to expand on these things. And for me, it had to be something that everybody had in common. Well, if we don't all have it in common, how the hell is it going to resonate? So the answer was simple for me. It had to be something that people take from cradle to grave, will fight to the death to protect, and that everyone has to have one. The only thing that fit that was, well, the name. And you cannot do anything in the system without the mark of the beast. Have you noticed? Steve Travis tagged me the other day. He was going out to see some friends play in a bar he had just played. Got to the door and he had no ID, and the bouncer who recognized him wouldn't let him in. Well, just in case we get raided, if you don't have ID, we're, you see what I mean? Fucking jarheads at the door. Had enough today too. There was something flipping around on the TV there. You can see cop world getting real nervous because now they're trying to sell the humanity of what a cop is and what a cop has to go through, family and all the rest of it. Well, fuck you. You're harming your families. While you harm other families, you're harming yourself and your own family. But you're too stupid to know that, and you're too greedy because you're selling your soul out for the ability to have this feigned power. Typically low-level ignorance, basically. What is it, between 90 and 100 IQ is prerequisite. You better have a bit of a psychosis profile in school. You either had to be a bully or had to be one of the bullied. That guarantees that you want power, vengeance. And let's throw a uniform on it, seemingly give it the power of God, arm it, make it angry. Like Guelph, they like to fill them full of steroids and methadone, and then send them out in the street to serve and protect. Well, they're not lying to you. It's just not telling you who they're serving and who they're protecting. It certainly isn't you, right? These jarheads get it. Any of the decent ones, like I said, there won't be a good cop until one of them does. I don't fucking care what rank they are. Still trying to be in the system, using the fictional legal nonsense, you're still an idiot to me. And I got to tell you, this key is so simple. It is so simple. Whoa. Talk about patience. I don't know. Keep it up and I'll be one. But anyway, enough of that. I just really wanted to drill this point home tonight, guys. Like every other night, same story. Hey, let's do the Kate rerun. Let's talk about the name again, shall we? What does the name mean, Kate? It means you're a fucking slave, okay? Clear enough for you? And now, you've heard me talk about it, but that's just me. But you've heard other people come on to talk about their magical experiences once they got this. Once they figured this out. How cool is that? Look, they magically disappear. Yes, they do. This is a magical game. It's not a physical game. All in knowing who you are will be tested to the degree that you know who you are. Sometimes they'll come up and they won't even say anything to you, but they'll drive away. And that's the way it's going to be from now on. And I knew that Friday night, March 14th. I had it confirmed in that beautiful lucid vision on the 15th, the Ides of March. The game is over, guys. And all you need to do is stand. In truth, there's nothing really more I can say on this. Nothing. But I'll keep saying the same thing until it sinks in. So I love when Savan comes on. He brings it from a completely different perspective, and he's saying the exact same thing, giving an even bigger, broader perspective on things. I keep it simple, and that's the problem, is it's so blindingly simple. Okay, how am I supposed to complicate this so they can get it? Ego needs complications, right? Read out, was it yesterday? Yeah. Someone getting hounded in the Netherlands. Yeah, the nether regions. Getting hounded as soon as they set foot back in the country. Send out the I who shall not be legally named because they know what's in it, and that's pure power, baby. There's enough in that document, if you get it, to shut everything down. I've done others since that. But if you really get what's in that document, like really get it, that's a nuke. But you got to understand it completely. And those that do, poof, say bye-bye, system. A name, there is no game. There is no spiritual binding contract. I mean, this simplicity is going to drive me nuts trying to get this across to everyone. And I'm so grateful for the ones that do get it and stand in it and go, yeah, see, isn't that cool? Say, oh, this is great. I've had more of those than the other, I have to say. So why the rant tonight? It's not really a rant. I'm just driving these points home in an energy. I've had someone tag me the other day and says, oh, you always sound angry, Kate. And then I listen after, but you're not angry. I said, no, I'm not. Not at all. God. The toolbox. Ego only understands ego. And ego is an emotionally driven beast. So if you want to talk to an emotionally driven beast, speak its language. In order to catch a serial killer, you must think like one, not be one. You can talk like one and think like one. In order to catch one, you just don't act like one. That's the only difference. By one's actions, one is known. You know, you want to catch a serial killer? What are you going to do? Study the traits and habits of a kindergarten teacher? And that's what most people do. Well, that's really scary to look at that. You're goddamn right. It's scary to look at that. It's downright scary to look at all the things that I never wanted to look at. But I knew I had to. This is why I went after Rome. I wasn't going after the local equals. I was going after fucking Rome. Because you want to shine the brightest, baby, you find the deepest, darkest hole to climb into. And there's 3 seriously dark holes on this planet. Rome, London, D.C., baby. I went deep into all of them. Kind of why I moved on to better keep an eye on that bitch profile list. Yeah, if your name's not on a government list by now, get the fuck out of the game because you're not playing. And the joy of it is once there's no name, what does it matter? Whose name is it? It's theirs. They can keep it. They can keep all the poison attached to it too because they're the ones that put the poison there. There's a little scab. Let's pick that one off and hand it back. But anyway, that's enough of that for now. But I will finish this spirit trap to get across to people. The easy answer for those that are still asking about how do I handle this, that, and the other, there's all sorts of shit on my website. All sorts of stuff that you can print out. You got to understand it. You know? I'll tell you, if you actually read all the stuff on my website, you won't have any need to ask me any questions. Seriously. You just got to spend the time. You got to let go of everything you thought you ever knew. Because everything that you've ever known in this life came from a pre-programmed source. And you have to get yourself right out of that. You got to start being the original God you are. You got to start thinking for yourself and start believing and knowing in yourself that you are that pure ultimate source. Because I know you are. That's why I love coming on here so nice, just beating the shit out of egos. It's fun. It's just a program. It's like change the channel on TV. If you don't like the channel, change it. If you don't like the station or the show that's on, I just take a bat to the TV now, so it's all good. Never have to watch that one again. And there's all sorts of TVs that show up, right? They have all sorts of names attached to them. Anyway. Let's get these lines open. For those that want to call in, 010111 when I said that. Anyone that wants to call in, please feel free. Don't be afraid. I'm just a bitch. Get over it. Anyway, you can call in at 661-467-2401. And BTR number, I believe, is 56. Let me just double check. 056. I know I saw it. Somebody, I think Mike had put it in the lighthouse. Yep. Thank you, Michael. BTR listener 056 is the Skype. If you want to call that, just put BTR listener 056 in your contact search on Skype and do a search. And when it pops up, just right-click it and hit call, and that'll bring you right to the table. Once you're at the table, please feel free to hit 1 on your dial pad or open up the dial pad on Skype and hit 1 there if you haven't figured that out by now. Oh, Darren just popped in and popped out, so I'll have to see what's up with him. But anyway, while we're at the top of the hour, just a great big thanks to Paul Giovanni, criticalmassradio.co.uk, for such an incredible place to gather every single night. And wow, what a show today! And it's beautiful watching this just unfold. You know, and anything anyone can do to help out CMR, please do. It's your table. It keeps me at it, keeps everybody else at it as well. So that being said, please do help out, because I'll tell you, any energy that gets flowed towards CMR or anyone involved is going to be completely and utterly transmuted into pure energy, right? That's what you're investing in. Don't worry, the seeds that you offer will be planted accordingly, and it will be quite the harvest of benevolence that you reap from it. Yeah, that was the beautiful points that Sivan had brought up today. So, that being said, I will get Darren's mic open, and because I know Darren wanted to talk a bit about water, and Mike is there. So let's stay on point and rock this house down tonight. It's Monday. Let's party.
How? Wow. Aloha. Aloha.
Aloha.
Yep. The cup runneth over. Water's picking up great frequencies, affirmations. Oh, wow. The message just gets clearer and clearer every time. Thanks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
More and more examples of truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I got to tell you, Darren, this is not an easy message to give to people, because the irony is, you know, I hear from people all the time, well, you know, I've got a family, I've got kids, I've got a home, I've got this, I've got that. And I said, yes, I know. So did I. I'm glad that you think that yours is more important than mine. Thank you very much. I just thought that mine and yours were equally important. That's all. And if I can poke that goat enough, because the doubts that keep coming back, it's always the same circle, right? It's always the same circular thing. The doubts that keep coming back are the very things that people need to step over. Because once you step over it, you don't understand what's on the other side. The faith has you kept perfectly safe. This is where your true source comes into play, and you're no longer at effect of the system. But the ego has it programmed so deeply that everything, I don't follow the system, everything in my life is going to fall apart, and I'm going to lose my family, house, holy fuck. And no, that's not how it works at all. You want to talk to Catch-22, it's friggin' hilarious. You know, I've heard it all. What people are willing to do is what people are willing to do. I'm not your keeper, you know. It's only your soul you're playing with. Oh, hang on a sec. Somebody hit their... Oh, okay. Sounds like Mike had to take another call. That's what happens. If you're going to take a call, mute out. Or let me know so I can mute you out. You know, and again, you know, if it sounds like I'm bashing people, I'm not. I'm just stating the facts.
Well, it's a great opportunity to go in at that emotional, that energy that's created in the self. Mm-hmm. Hey, I felt, you know, every bit you shared, I felt in my own experiences. I could go back to moments where, wow, you know, I was there. I was there at that surrendering, you know, surrendering. Oh, you just, I resisted. I resisted the whole movement for so long, and it just got harder and harder. More pressure.
Yeah.
And it was me that was holding back. The moment I went, fine, I'll do it. I'll move. I'll go. I'll get on this trail. Get on it. You know, that's.
Well, your soul's worth it, isn't it?
I gave up everything. I'm a fucking awesome dad. And I have to hold my water in a good way, or else there'll be a lot of salt for my children. Just through my own energy, because I'm attached to them, and they're attached to me through our shared water.
Well, exactly. And just to reinforce that again, you see, the very thing that I was doing was to keep my family safe, exposing all the nonsense going on around us so that my kids, this was a singular viewpoint, could have a better life and doing all the right things for all the right reasons. And lo and behold, all of this stuff got uncovered. I became target number one, and the system that everyone loves to worship did its damnedest to rip my family apart, which they did. I haven't seen my kid in over 2 years. Okay?
Yeah. And it's not a right or wrong. It's a fucking journey. It's the experience that's raw. Delivering experience that is being relayed every day.
Hey, and Darren, I'll tell you this right now. If I knew ahead of time what I was going to experience in that loss, would I have been motivated to do it? No.
Nope.
That would have kept me from doing it.
Yeah. I tell people that get all bummed out about my money situation, you know, because they don't see contentment and a smile on my face. They just, you know, I say to them, you know, just be with it.
Yeah, again, and it's amazing. I haven't checked Skype yet, but I usually get and Facebook. I usually get lots of messages after shows like this, and that's okay. I totally expect it. And that's what I'm after. I want to get a rise in you. I want you to feel your fire within. You know, I want you to take that anger, and it may be, if it's at me, great. I don't care. Whatever it takes to stoke that fire, to get people looking deeper into themselves. Yes, it's a really shitty feeling when the responsibility of your own ignorance gets handed to you in Technicolor at this table. Be rest assured, though, I did it to myself first. This is how we walk. We just walk in this. Got Mike's line open again, by the way, and Richie and Peter, you're in here as well. Not to dissuade as well, Darren. I don't want to get off point with talking a little bit about.
How you doing, guys?
Good. I didn't want to get off point about talking about the water tonight, so don't let that slip through. Okay.
Well, that's why I slipped it in with the children, eh?
Yep.
Because that water is connected.
Exactly.
The moment I have a thought of it, put them in my thought, my water, into the crystal. They get it.
Okay.
They're in a good way. They're at peace.
Excellent. Well, I just want to get Mike in for a sec, and I know I've got Richie and I got Peter in as well, so we can get a couple of words from each of them. And I just don't want to lose sight of this target tonight, because we've got lots to go over, and we've only got an hour. If we roll over, we roll over. Anybody?
Okay.
There we go.
I thought
where's
Mike
Mikey go? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, I'm here. I'm just actually walking.
Nice.
Mountains in the background, ocean in the front. I'm leaving school behind.
There you go.
Yeah. Holla.
Yeah, I was teaching kindergarten today, guys. I go into the system and shine light wherever it is needed to necessary.
Sounds like Mercury to me. Be able to step into both worlds without injury.
Yep, that's the work of this. That's the work of these spiritual warriors. Because, like I was saying last night, is we have people that are still crawling, right, on their hands and knees, trying to teach people how to walk.
Yeah, it happens. But that's them. So to get into the water with what in regards to Savan sharing.
Yeah, well, what I'm getting at, Darren, is
we're going to talk about water, though.
Yeah, listening to the ones that have learned how to walk, you know what I'm saying? That's important to recognize who it is that is walking versus who it is that is still, crawling. It's a contrast. It's being, you know what I'm saying? Because if I'm still following people that are crawling, I'm crawling. Well,
the way I look at it, Richie, if they smile back at me when I smile at them, victory. Period.
Yeah. That's just a small point, a small point to be made. And I'm more focused on, I think Kate had mentioned it there, that and I had repeated that several times, is that if you're not willing to let go of everything that you fear to lose, then you're still trapped into the game. And you do that with your mind, like we recognize and see. These are the ones that are walking, is what I'm saying, right? These words, this sound, this energy, that's being spoken. When you hear people say these things, these are the ones that I recognize and say, aha, they're onto it. They get it.
Well, witness all your brothers and sisters, and the they, and the them, and the us, and we just kind of fades away, brother.
Yeah.
It will. I see it.
Yeah.
We have up until the last breath to make that choice. That's why it's kind of funny. Everybody condemns other people for their acts, even though they're only accountable to God like them.
Oh yeah, I don't condemn. I don't have. See, that's the thing. That's the thing, Darren. Is I don't have. I think I don't have the power to judge, nor will I give anybody that power. You see what I'm saying? I don't have the power to forgive anyone, either. You see? Nor do I have the power to be forgiven. You see? That's Maya. That's an illusion.
Yeah.
See?
Well, it's a nice stepping stone to step across, a little creek, a little brook, a nice stone in the middle so you can take 2 hops across it. That's all forgiveness is. Just that little spot where you go, oh, yeah, I'm responsible for that. All that time I was mad at that person. I was responsible for that. I was responsible for believing that person.
Again, it all comes back to self, guys, and let's not get off on this tonight, please. Yes. That's not an energy I want to get into. And I haven't heard from Peter yet. I want to hear from Peter.
Yeah. So anyways, in regards to the water.
That's it. Hello, guys. How are you doing today?
Hello, Peter. How are you?
What's up, Peter?
Sorry it took me so long to get connected with you, But I'm there. I'm here, okay? I'm hearing you every day. And you rocking, baby.
Well, I'm not holding back, and I got to tell you, and as much as I get great emails, I don't get anything real nasty, but I know I ruffle feathers, and my job is simply to be a spirit poker. Here you go, red hot poker. Well, I tell you, mine's going to be a lot more gentle than the system, because the system wants to steal your soul. Me, I want to get it back for you, show you how to get it back. So, which team do you want to play for? Yours or theirs?
Yours. Well, mine.
Yes, exactly. I want you playing for your team.
That's it. That's the way to go, okay? It's not easy. It's not easy to give up everything you thought is real, which isn't in the end of the day. And as Mike said, same for me, I can say for myself that the family, kids, that's the hardest bit. I've got to admit, it's the hardest bit for myself to get over it, you know what I mean?
It takes a little bit. And again, the joy of this is this does not have to happen now, where it did. This is the power of what is being shared right now. You don't have to give up anything. My whole quest is to make sure that people can maintain and pull the system away, because, all of the creation of this reality is ours. And it's been basically another conductor has come in to conduct our symphony into self-destruction. So I'm just giving people their little batons back to wave their own symphony. And, look what the system does to us. It creates all of this fear. Well, if I do this, this is going to happen. No, it's not, because you're in the moment of now. If you're going to create that, that's because the ego program is making you create it. Let it go. You will not have everything until you have nothing. This is the as above, so below. And I'm not talking that you have to give up everything. Siobhan made a beautiful point today. There are some that are able to deliver in ways to help those of us deliver this message. That's how the energy is transferred. A perfect scene is an Avatar when they bring someone when they brought Jake Sully into the clan. One hand was placed on his shoulder, then everyone else joined in. It was this network of hands all connected as one. Everyone was connected, and that's what we're moving into. The system has systematically, pun intended, literally cut all the hands off of us, so we cannot reach out to each other. Where we're made dependent to lean on a system. And this is the toughest program for people to break. So, yeah, Peter, totally.
Yeah, Kate, you bring up that point of people don't have to give up everything. You do if you're still attached to it, right? If you're still attached to it in some way, you're probably going to have to give it up, whatever it may be, a chocolate bar, a gold bar, whatever. If it's necessary for you to give it up, you will give it up. And part of that is understanding where we're coming from spiritually, you're coming from spiritually, from your heart. And when you recognize that and all is self, and that's the important part, when you recognize all is self, you realize that you're not contained in the system. The system is within you, and you can control it as you see fit.
Yep. And again, it goes back to the possession thing. Are you possessed of the possessions? Who possesses who here? Who's walking the dog, right? Or is the dog walking you? And that's really what you have to give up, is the concept that your possessions own you. That you cannot let go of them.
I've never given a shit about, things in my life, No.
If your sense of worth is tied up in your possessions, you will probably lose all of those possessions until you realize you are the worth. You are the one who gives value to whatever you have, not the other way around.
Hey. Yeah, it's like when I was talking about go to the front door, okay? Again, let's just go with a concept. Everyone gets real physical, real literal, real quick on this shit. Let's play spiritually for a sec. That's where I play, okay? Spiritually, go to the door. Spiritually, walk out with nothing. And spiritually, just go trusting in complete source of you. Okay? Got the concept? Good, because that's what you truly are. What I'm saying is, you got to be able to do that. Can you go to the front door of your house, step on the outside, and go through everything you would have to let go and say, yes, I can let go of that, because if I don't, they are going to perish.
Yeah.
Can I make it simpler?
That's clear enough.
I thought so.
Clear.
I'll give you a kind of another descriptive phrase of that.
Well, hey, Mike, please do. I just want to put it in one nutshell. I didn't say you had to. I'm asking you, can you? And if you cannot, you have a string attached. Break that string. The instant you can do this, you don't have to. But if this was what was on the line, can you do it, you have changed your mind on this. Everything else follows suit. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No, you just clarified it, Kate. Then you're no longer owned by your possessions. That's what, if you can do that, you switch the mind, and it doesn't matter what you have in that moment.
Yeah, now turn around and walk back into your home. Walk back into your apartment. Go back into the arms of your family. But are you willing to pay that price? I am just a living example of, yes, I am. That's my role to play. Did I say you have to do it? I've said that for years. You don't have to do what I do, but you've got to do something. What is it that you are here to do? We all came here for a mission. And I know a lot of people that are actually on perfect purpose, on perfect target with their role to play. Are you? That's the only question you have to ask yourself. We came here with a contract, with a mission to accomplish. And it is in the very essence of your singular, unique frequency. Cut through the shit and figure it out. And it's not tough. It really isn't. The clues are staring at you. Exactly. Stand in truth, baby. That's it. There's only one path to walk, and everything else, I tell you, it is the perfect shopping mall. When you decide to stand in truth at all costs, without any reservations, everything comes right to you.
I totally get it.
Yeah, Peter, you've been on before, haven't you? I recognize your voice.
No, I haven't. I've been I've been on a Skype, like, on them channels you added, mate, but I've never been on this show before, no.
I recognize the frequency, so good to have you.
Well, I'm really glad to have you with me every day, I'll be honest with you. It's it's not easy. You've turned my life upside down, but deep in my heart, I can. I see myself in this state. Sorry about my broken English. I'm not it's not my native language, but I think I'm doing pretty well.
I think you're doing awesome. Are you South African?
Not heard that before. I'm Polish, same as Magda. Magda's a good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyway, I'm going to chill out back and listen what Mike's going to say about this water, because I'm very interested, if you don't mind.
Excellent. Now, you just had that really sexy South African thing going on. It's beautiful. I love the South African.
I don't know what it is, but I'm all shaking. My heart, legs, my voice.
All good, my friend. You're doing awesome. It's all good. Thank you so much for being here. And sit back and jump in whenever you want. And yes, let's let Darren get ripping on the water, and let's explode this thing out, because the best water of all is your own. We'll get into that towards the end, I'm sure, but that's my 2 cents worth. Go ahead, Darren. The floor is yours.
Much gratitude. Thank you, Paul, for that. And enjoy the juice of the emerald table. That's what that vibration is. You've joined the collective, if you will. How do you say it? You're all. And I'm vibrating exactly how you are right now. And that is a gift of gathering, or jathering. Jathering. I'm turning Phoenician. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to communicate with the Babylonians. So to get into the water, your water right now is accepting the frequencies of the table and what is being shared, and everything that you accept within what is being shared. That is the most important. Your intent is what has aligned you to the water within your being, within the beings surrounding the table. This table is 360 degrees. And it's been shown for how many years? So within that circle, you have the cell, the atom, the molecule. You have the truth of all. We create ion. Your intent will go into all the waters you've shared. Those waters that have aligned with you and call you friend, brother, are aligned with you within this vibration. Consciously, with through intent to love you. So looking at yourself as the cup of water, you can begin to see why your language becomes so very important. That's why the save your breath, save a brain cell is so important. When you create the word within the cup of water, you create a frequency of vibration. And it doesn't matter how you dress it up, define it, the frequency will be there. And you will put it into your cup of water. I've walked with water. I've been part of a system, oil and gas industry, and it's really funny. Everything about that drilling rig has got sexual connotations around what is used as we dig into my earth. Understand the karma or the energy associated with that truth. That's why I love water the way I do. That's why I hold water, or hold water. Recognize the water within my system. If I ran my meat sack through a press, at the end of it, there would be more water than meat. In fact, there would be no meat, only sinew. This is reflected in your juicer that you have on your counter if you do that. So when you intend anything, aka open a contract with your cup or another cup, you begin to exchange within the laws. It matters not what it is. The contract's set. You're engaged. Just like you feel now, Paul, sitting at the table, being a degree.
Oh, it's Peter, by the way. Sorry.
Peter, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Carry on.
And that intent, when we accept it, settles, and we can actually ground in that energy, and it becomes accepted as me. It's me. It's not outside of myself. What I've exposed myself, what I'm experiencing now, is delivering the senses messages. Yes, there's an exchange that goes out of you, but it is really wholly developed within that cup of water because it holds memory. When I look at the mountains, the sky, no matter what it is, I see water at its truth. When I look out into the stars, I know of the upper firmament, which has been mathematically proven to be the same volume of the water that is on this earth now, and it is at the outer regions of this galaxy. So when I expand myself into the water, I go there. Outside, inside out. Because it's all water, it all holds memory. Thus, your intent becomes more than you ever imagined. Because when you recognize your cup, it will runneth over. You will recognize yourself as the chalice, the covenant, the Big Bang. What will you put into that cup? With manifested energies from thought, which came from you upon the experience. If you want to put intent of defense, intent of right, wrong, intent of definition that creates separation, enjoy, engoy. If you wish to align with other sources, sit at a table, enjoy. Put that smile on your face and bask in it. Because you just told your cup, Well, that's up for you to tell. So when I take a bottle or a cup to my city sink and have a thought of, it's a tap, I wish I had this in Goy. When I walk up to the tap, no matter where I'm at, Saskatchewan, Ontario, BC, the ditch, I fill that cup up knowing it is La Ve that created it. I thank those who made the Chinese plastic piping, the Chinese tap. The boys who dug the ditches and leaned on shovels as everybody drove by and called them lazy. I thank the ones who drew the pictures on a gluttonous salary. I thank those who put themselves in a place above others so they could too have their face in the trough. I thank the ones who came up with the idea of piping water so people would pay for their freedom and right to water. I thank those who are governed by the supremacy of God for their spells are neutralized as they fill my cup. Some would say, oh, that sounds really nice. There's been a few in my walks that have accepted themselves to the degree that, oh, wow, you can't smell. You can't smell. I love that. That is one of my most favorite moments of sharing, because I teach nothing. I create no separation in that moment, for that is a lie that my ego would buy. I choose to share it freely, yet couldn't give it away. Acceptance, again, I do. Those who accept it, give it to their friends, and their friends will not believe them, even though they feel that before them, right out of the tap. I don't claim it as mine. I don't claim it as theirs. I claim it as accepted, because that is my intent. I dream, I work. I wake, I work. Or do I work for another day? Do I wake up and jump in that shower and run my heart through those pipes? Thanking all those things, those people that have so much to offer, yet are unaware of it. Because that's the only thing that separates me from them. So my cup, when I fill it, that shower, I'm thanking my mom. I'm thanking all those who have shared with me. And in that truth, that water cleanses me. And as I learn from the Lakota, support your brothers. They're not Indians, they're not natives, they're not North Americans. They're originals. They have to share. This is where I find my heart. Their causes find my heart. Because that is my intent with their water. Mistreated water. And then we wonder why. We can look anywhere and see how water is mistreated and look at its culture and wonder why. When I learned that if I looked at myself in the moment my child was bad water, I recognized my water and cleared my intent and watched it change before me without a word, without a discipline. That is intent of water. That's the intent of witnessing. No one can teach you how to do any of this. It is for you to accept. Your water and you walk with it, let it sit in the sun. Soleil water, it's real. Use cobalt blue glass, give it 3 days of full-on sun. Tell your friend with the blood pressure pills, here, drink this. 20 minutes later, no blood pressure, no pill. Is that intent? Is wishful thinking? Hopeful. Be hopeful. Intent. Clear intentions. Clear your language. That is what the practice of dowsing, divining is of. Not so you can do parlor tricks or become something that draws people from themselves, but then just a tool to demonstrate how to clear your language. Clear language, clear intentions. What graces your tongue? What graces your water? Only you can tell. Only you can tell the truth to you. I lied to myself, dowsing, not quite being honest yet. Lied to myself a lot using the rod and the pendulum. It tasted in my water too. People have evidence of Dr. Masaru Emoto. There was a German fella back in the 50s that did it. It's the truth. Be kind to the water. Cross over a body of water, give it love. That water runs to the oceans. Those oceans connect us all. Charge your water in the sun. Align with the sun. 2 physicists, 2 separate branches down in the States, New Mexico or someplace like that. One studying the sun and the solar flares, one studying the effects of water and the frequencies of the water changing in the sun. Huge spikes through the water, scratch head, don't know what caused it. Spike's head, oh, geez, this water's acting strange, something's up. Sitting in the pub, having a beer, 2 physicists talking. Well, did you check for solar flares? Well, yeah, but they happened 8 minutes earlier. Go back to the room, there's the labs, find out that water, through the intent of aligning with the sun, demonstrated instant reaction in alignment with the sun's boost and solar flares. Align with the sun, which is water, hydrogen, hello. It's all water. Align with that sun, and you won't worry about the migraines and the energies and the pulses, because you have the sun. The sun will let you know what's coming, and oh, geez, adapt your frequencies. Be the field of energy that says, ha, oh, you have a smart meter. Well, the place hasn't burnt down yet. It should be okay. Frequencies don't bother me. Wi-Fi, I can choose, because the intent of this water, these crystals, is for the lave, magnetic, electric, the you. The more I take the I and catch myself burping it and remove it, that is the silence. That is that space where so many share from. Pentagon to the water, any form to the water. The water will remember it. Proof in the pudding, Bach flower remedies. It's evident, it's proven. It's not a debate. There is so much evidence that your water is influenced by the frequencies and the vibrations of your mind and what it creates and delivers across your tongue and felt in your heart. If you think you know what's in water, you've already taken away from its truth, because it is pure and it has no space for definition without being influenced. I love distilled water, as I can take it in 2 cups. Mine's always sweeter. Just like the rice experiment from the Master Emoto. You choose what you dilute that rice. I love it when I hear people say, I couldn't do that, I couldn't do that. And I was so grateful I had a little vengeful girlfriend at the time. And she made it black in 5 days. My white rice stayed white for 9 months before I had to go. Be nice, be good, or truth to you. Create within you that truth of water. See the words you use and self-correct within that sentence. You can do it. You can intend that your cup of water has no emotional energy attached to it. You can intend that it be pure love, and it can be shared. I highly suggest people take the water, hold it in the sun, ask for it to align with the sun, and then go dump it off a bridge with your intention for it to land in the Nile's vagina. That awareness alone will change everything. It is your cup. You get to program the water within you. There's no right, no wrong, only opportunity to program that water within every moment. My reactions bite me. Be mean to my water, get real stiff. So I leave that message with you in water. I highly suggest, or I share for more intent and ways to intend upon water. Google water walk and see the depths that some of our sisters and brothers have gone to ensure that water knows that it's loved. Because when you hold water and charge it and get others to intend their love with it, you create medicine. You can take a seed, put it in your mouth for 15 minutes, put it in the ground, drop it in the ground, spit on it. 3 days later, give it some loved water, and that seed will produce medicine that is aligned with your frequency. Squash, anything that has geometry within it, will not be the form that it would be without that intent. It changes it. Evidence is everywhere. Stop knowing it and feel it. Because one word will take away hours of meditation. One word will take you from a space where you're receiving to taking. And it comes with a whole pile of thought before it leaves your lips. The evidence is there. Holy water was a truth they had to share with us. I'm grateful for for all those who have shared their water and their intent. Our oceans can and will be cleaned. Take away the fear behind anything, and you deliver the energies that create remedy, that create truth. And I'll leave it at that and let everybody else have their turn. Thank you.
Well, there you go. Perfect timing. Got 15 minutes until it's over. Not sure how... no, apparently we're having a chat room issue and working to fix it. Okay. Wasn't aware of that, Blog Talk, but thanks anyway. Yeah, we're 15 minutes to roll over. Not sure how long we'll go tonight. Depends on you guys. I got a couple of shows tomorrow too, so typically on Monday night I don't like to roll over just because it's going to be a long enough day tomorrow as it is. Yeah, this actually does require a certain amount of effort, guys. Just to let you know, it's not just talking. I think you all know that by now. But anyway, point being is...
Darren said water walk?
Yeah, water walk.
Okay, great.
Google... Yeah, Google is your friend. That's the coup call. That's the peace harvest.
So back into the water.
Excuse me.
Thank you for sharing, Darren. I'm right in there with you, brother. And so Seven brought this up about, he was sharing about the water, distilled water, and then...
yeah, can I do the setup, Mike?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. That's what I was trying to do. Then you can jump in. That's all I want to do. Just get the number out for anyone that wants to call in. 661-467-2401 is the call-in number. BR listener 056 is the direct call-in for Skype. If you want to just connect with that list, just put that in your contacts search and right-click it when it comes up, and hit call and bring you to the table. Other than that, just call in through Blog Talk. Again, thanks again to Paul Giovanni and the crew at criticalmassradio.co.uk, and especially for Ninja and others that go far and above the call of duty, as it were, to make sure that, well, again, it's without these people around me, it would have been so much harder to get this message out. The workload is enough as it is, so I am beyond grateful for those that do their part. And that's all I'm really asking people to do. Just do your part. I'm not asking you to do what I did. I was built for this. This is my role. This was my mission. You've got your own. Just start walking in it and take baby steps. I'm not asking anyone to jump a Grand Canyon here. I'm asking you, as soon as you change one thing, and to get back with what Darren said, then you can carry on, Mike. If you want to really empower that water, well, then get rid of all of the other contracts that you're bound to that are diminishing your creative source. And any attachment to the name or norm or palette is feeding your energy directly to that which you were trying to overcome. Best stop doing that. And if you want to intensify your intent ability, sci-fi, got it? It was in the phonics, didn't you? Yes, of course it was. So if you want to intensify that creative manifestation, then understand the power of what it is that I'm talking about here. Know thyself. Detach spiritually and mentally from everything in the system. Become aware that you can. That's all you need to become aware of. Because the instant you can do something, oh, I can't leave my family, you better decide that you can, because their survival is based on it. It's completely the opposite of what you're used to, but then everything's backwards here after all, isn't it? Anyway, so there you go. I just wanted to bring that in. If you really want up the ante on your power for this water and transformation and manifestation, then the more you know thyself and act and stand in the truth, the more power of intent into that water. And yeah, definitely pour that glass of water into the river with intent to connect with the Nile vagina and watch this world just transform. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to share, and it's kind of right in tune with what you're sharing, Kate, and that's the we're 80, however many % water, and many times we're talking about the water we're intaking, how to purify that, how to intend that, and what Kate is reminding you by doing what she's sharing, you're changing I'll call it the polluted waters within you, just by, as Kate's reminding, is of knowing the self, of remembering who you are, by disconnecting yourselves from these limiting thought forms. You're changing that inside you. You're changing that frequency of water inside you. It's changing that vibration naturally, and bring it into what Darren. And so as Seven was describing earlier today, and he's done it a few times, and he's taken it, I forget what he said it was, what number he was up to. And I've seen a few videos where he shows what they're doing with the water. And some purposes, and look, he's on the forefront to see what is inherent in this and what you can do, like through your intent. And what my reminder is we can do that right now inside of us without any of the technology. You can restructure the water in yourself. As Darren was saying, you can take a cup of water, or you can look into and hold it to the sun, or you can look into the sun yourself with your eyes and realize you're changing the water inside you into restructure in line with the sun and the earth and whatever you may need. So you already have the medicine inside you. You already have the water of life flowing through you. So in that way, you can clear it from inside. As Kate's saying, there's different ways that you can kind of get this even more right now. And I would like to paraphrase what Kate had added real quick. The words ain't coming to me, but it's like lose the name, realize this game is over, recognize yourself, and right there in that truth alone, you're changing the vibrational level and frequency of your water. You have just restructured your being to be in tune with your heart. And if we want to now put it in an external way, the water you're going to add, whether you can, you have a water distiller or UV distiller, or then you can take it where, as Seven was sharing how they restructure the water through different means, you can intend that. With your being alone, you have that power. You are that power. So whether the water is inside you or outside you, and this is just so powerful, what Darren was reminding us, is that, yes, right there in the Nile, from wherever you are, I can piss in that stream, in that river right now of my pure intent of love. I can share my, my essence. We're doing this naturally now. We're recognizing that there's no boundaries where we can share. We don't have to be there in the so-called, we are there already in the physical, because we're that interconnected that you can reach out and touch wherever it is you want to in the cosmos or here on Earth. That's how, we are connected. The field we're playing in is love. There's no division there. So when we're not in that division anymore, of course, there's no separation. So if you want to clean up a ocean, if that's what needs to be, or it's being called for you to do, but that ocean really is inside of you. And let's do that. And then we'll remember other points of, say, on the planet where we can share this cleansing also, this energy of pure love, basically, into the waters that people will be bathing in, will be drinking. And really, many places, these rivers are the source for most people, their water. They're not getting it from some underground source. It's surface water. And so we do have the power and intent, all of us, to really recognize and infuse, in a way, our that intent into the water everywhere on this planet to be in line with the heart, because that's what its natural vibration is too, just like ours. There's no difference. And with this, all the pollutants, if we want to call it that, things that are maybe stuck, blocking, not letting the clear flow of the pure energy that it is, it dissolves. It basically disappears. And this is our power. This is what we can do. You want to talk about cleaning up the planet? Well, you can do it right here in this instant.
Yep, no tools required. That's the illusion.
Yep.
Yeah, you're God.
Nothing outside the self. It's right there. You know, and it's
Am I on?
Baby step, that first step.
Yep. You're there, Peter.
And when you're stirring your family's dinner, stir your love into it. Changes the whole scoop. A really good story of the water was with one of the first expeditions in Tibet. I forget the guy's name. He was rich, of course. And the monks wouldn't approach him. Tibetan monks wouldn't approach him. Stayed clear away from them. But they watched these monks pack off water from these creeks. And so they assumed that they could drink it as well, because their water was getting low. And so they finally figured, well, they're taking it, we can drink it. All but 3 died. On the second expedition, they did get to find out how the monks were able to drink that water that killed all those people. They stirred it. They had a rotation. I forget the formula, but it's clearing energies counterclockwise, stirring love into it clockwise, clearing, and they stirred it. And they managed to purify a water that was otherwise deadly. And this is turn-of-the-century stuff.
That's it. It's like water. It turns left and right, spirals all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, you put some particulars into the water and just get them all suspended, and then you spin that water as fast, as hard as you can in a mason jar, big jar, and then set it down and let it spin out. All those particulars will pyramid up on it. They'll make a cone on the inside of that bottle on the bottom. How's that? You know? How's water make particulars, completely chaos, into form like that?
Are you familiar with Victor Schauberger's work?
No.
Have a look into it. It was Austrian, sorry. Victor Schauberger. Google it. Lots of stuff about water.
Yeah, I'm a little bit familiar.
Yeah.
Well,
basically,
all facets.
I got into dowsing.
Water. Everything comes out from water. Even the stuff we're breathing in is water. It's just different states, isn't it? Space, different frequencies.
Yeah. Yeah, Letters to Robin, a really good dowsing starter place. Take it literally, you'll spend hours at it. Take it allegoric, you'll find yourself being the pendulum. That water, it tells you everything you need to know. Ask. Just ask. You can literally change. You can have 2 people, one person doing it and one person not doing it. They'll want your cup of water. And it's the attachment, no attachment outcome. It just is.
You know what I'm curious about, too, because I'm thinking about this, because watts, energy, water, is I'm listening to a lot of people, and I'm bringing things and won't speak until I truly know what it is that I'm saying is absolute. Because the things that I do say, I know,
So what is it, Richie?
Right.
I know.
I speak and I stutter now and then because what it is I'm trying to get out isn't yet as clear as it will become. That I know. But what I say, I know. And if I said otherwise, I would be a liar.
So this watt in the water, Richie. This is
energy. Watts, like watts of energy.
What?
It's kind of connected to that. But what I'm wondering is if, because I hear a lot of people talking about their identity and remembering, I have this sneaking suspicion that it is not in the water. I think that this water is holding this other place that we're existing in right now, and this is what I'm clarifying with all sincerity, And like I said, I will not say anything unless I am 100% certain of what it is that I'm saying, because the information that I give, I desire to have to be received on that level, And what I'm getting at is that this whole alchemical process that is unfolding within, that had already unfolded within myself, like I said, back in 91. What I'm recognizing is that I am that cornerstone that the builders rejected. You see? Because of the experiences, directly, wasn't spoken, it was given. It was a metaphysical experience that occurred. And if I said otherwise, I would be a liar. You see? And this is what's transpiring within my being, and listening to the ones that are on that path, that are on that track. Those are the ones that I'm tracking. You see? They're going to be the ones to help me increase my voice, as well as me increasing theirs. You see?
What's happening, Richie, is that many more people are going to own up to the experiences they had. This ain't new to most people. That's what we think. Oh, the masses haven't experienced most of this. Yes, they actually have. Everyone actually has. You all.
Well, what I'm giving, Mike, is the end game. You see,
right?
Because I've reached it. I don't think that I'm going to be coming back into this place. Tell you the truth.
Many people don't, because it's
literally, I will not reincarnate back into this fold because of the experience that I had. This is what I need to be certain of, but I'm not saying that.
Well, if you keep thinking, you will.
Yeah, Reggie, I'm sure. I know for sure I'm at the end of this game. Well, I'm at the end of that cycle. You can choose to, I don't know what, repeat. I'm not even sure about that, because this has already been done. This is the kind of the reflection on it in many ways. So you're right in saying that, you've seen the end game, or you know the end game, and that there's this, in terms of you don't want to come back here. That come back to here, I'm like, what do you guys talk about sometimes when you don't want to come back here? Because I've, like you, went through this experience before. It was, get me out of here. I'm done with this. But when we talk about the place we don't want to come back to, well, we don't.
It's not that I don't want to come back to it. It was that the experience that I had, I inadvertently achieved something that I knew what had happened to me, and I'm able to verbalize it within the direct experience that I had. Okay.
Right.
And what I'm hearing is others. What I've been hearing is the complete and utter connection to what it was that had happened to me. If I didn't have these other voices that I've been listening to, you see, I achieved something.
Put clarity to your situation. It helped put clarity to your situation. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Right.
You could explain your experience, because a lot of these experiences which are shared. In terms
it was meant to be this way. It was meant to be this way. I believe, because I know that the universe, my existence, your existence, all of us existing is truly in perfection. It's perfectly operating and working. So that was what was meant to occur. You see, it's just certain things at this point in time, Mike, are dawning on me at an exponential rate, and I'm absorbing it and letting it filter out in the way that it unfolds, But the thing is it's not that I want to do this. In a sense, I'm bound to it. You see, I have to. You see, otherwise I would be a friggin' liar. If I kept my mouth shut and didn't say a word, it's worse than me, or equally as wrong as me speaking something that I have no idea or clue of what the hell it is that I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? it's all sincerely done, you know, and it's just the way it is, you know, and I have to accept it, you know, and it is a journey in itself, and it's incredible, and it's friggin'. So that's the point where I need to step into those shoes, you know. That's what I need to do. I need to, as the ones that I hear, these warriors, you know, that are moving, you know, moving mountains, moving forward. I have to stand shoulder to shoulder with them, as they're not lying or their intent is pure.
Right, so you're bringing it right to what we want to talk about, the enforcers. This is what Seven's talking about, and we're each and every one of us is an enforcer, Richie. And then that's what you're saying. You can't lie about these experiences. By not sharing them and owning up to them, you're lying to yourself. You say, did that happen to me? No, it didn't. No, yes, it fucking did. I saw it with my own eyes. So, right. So in this way, you're standing in your truth. You're standing behind your experience. You're not denying what is. And what is coming into this is we are the enforcer. And the enforcer isn't a strong man in the typical sense. The enforcer is when we tune our will with our heart. This is the force. And then what tunes in, and that we can then magnify and amplify, is the core. This is the heart. This is the essence of what is. And then there's no more, particulates clouding the atmosphere.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't mean this. Did I say enforcer? You threw that word. And when I said standing shoulder to shoulder.
No, I did.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's. Anyway, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, I'll just come back on the same thing. Everyone's had profound experiences. Those profound experiences are simply the reminder to tell you that, hey, welcome to the Magic Kingdom. Did you forget that it's all magical here? Well, here's a little reminder, and you probably won't want to tell anybody because they'll think you're nuts. Here you go. And I've had countless of those experiences, and they're all profound, and I've said it before. I could have, if anyone 5 years ago had to come up to me and told me that they experienced this, or this, the things that I've went through, I'd look at them and start writing up a 30-day psych eval notice. Okay? So, again, this is what we've all been through. So this is why people need to know that you are no different than anyone else. Yeah, your adventure in Wonderland experience may be similar to someone else's or completely different. It's irrelevant. It's just clue to remind you that you are God. Start acting like it.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Easy.
Easy.
That sounded like the...
listening to people talk about their experiences like that, it reminds me of me, coming out of the closet. Guys, I'm a transgender. Well, yeah, we kind of figured that anyway. Oh, okay. Right? So it's all good, and that's really what it is. What we're experiencing now is the spiritual coming out of the closet, okay? Come on out of the closet. Yeah. We know you're God. We know. Come on. Right?
Yeah, what I'm getting at, Kate, where I'm because I'm narrowing this consciousness down to this game, because like it is, I know there are those who do not want to pay that ferryman anymore.
Okay, Richie, I'm going to call. Hang on, I'm going to call you out of the spiritual closet because you've been skirting around this for fucking weeks. Okay, so what was your experience that was somehow so more profound than the rest of us? Come on out of the closet and come on to the God closet with the rest of us. Come on, what is it?
It's not that it's more profound, Kate. What I'm getting at is...
Ego. Let's play. Yeah. I'm trying to...
No, you just said profound. It's not... What I'm saying is that the beings that are here that are conscious right now, that's why I was connecting it to this water thing, is that this reincarnation loop thing will continue.
No kidding. I've talked about it for ages. So what was your... I want to talk about Richie now. Richie the God. I don't want to talk about they, them. Okay. I want to hear from Richie. What was Richie's profound experience?
Right. Well, what I'm going to do, Kate, is I'm going to write an essay and get this verbally down in a way that will be comprehensive. You know, like I told you, I'm not ready. Timing is everything. You know, I'm not ready to give the full.
No. I'm not letting you off the hook, my friend. Not anymore. You've skirted this long enough, and I need Richie to come out of the God closet. Okay, I need everyone to come out of the God closet. Enough of this fucking around. I don't want to hear the stories anymore. I want to hear what you've experienced, because until we confront these things that are most profound within us, our most profound experiences, to share them, we will never get this magic out. So you're going to, you're going to write an essay. I'll give you 48 hours. And it doesn't have to be comprehensive. Okay? It just has to be comprehensible. Okay? So I want to know about you, Richie.
Isn't he just prove himself that he's got already?
Yes, absolutely. This is the point I'm trying to make.
There was a thought. He had a thought, intention, and now he's going to write this essay. So what more proof you need?
That's all you need.
That's all you need. So when you do write that essay, that you prove to yourself that you're God already.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Right. But unless you have this,
Richie, just
I just want to comment on what he said.
Hang on, Richie.
I just want to comment on what he said.
Yes, you can. I just want a little comment here. When you're writing this essay, don't forget all of the you knows. That's all I'm going to say to you. I love you.
Right.
Fuck.
Well, see, this is the thing, my friend. If the experience that I had, if you do not have it, you are not going to return to your God status, okay? So if you want to listen to me when I speak and get this shit down, well, that's okay. But you might reject me because I know I am that cornerstone.
Yeah, I'm a cornerstone too. Now I'm gonna point out the ego in that comment that you made.
Did you have the experience that I had, Kate?
No, Richie, calm down.
No, I'm just asking.
No, but you haven't had what I've experienced either. That's what I was just going to tell you to make you right, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Every one of us has an equal piece of the puzzle. None greater, none lesser than anyone else. So whether you or anyone thinks that theirs is more important or less important than the other is sheer bullshit. Why do you think I want people just to come to the table? Because
I didn't say that.
Well, no. Oh, there's the one-on-one again. I talk third party. Do I have to keep telling people this? I'm talking to everybody.
I know you are, Kate.
Okay, then it's not about you and me. It's about me and all. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's ego. So lose that part of it and be third party here. Stay neutral on all of this. Because this is what happens where people get into debates, and I don't do that. Like, I shut them down right quick. Okay, so yes, absolutely, your piece is as important as every other piece. As important as mine, as important. It's like this. If you have a big puzzle, a 10,000-piece puzzle, you know, you might have a centerpiece in that puzzle that's got a cathedral or something, scenery and city and everything else. And then there might be some fluffy clouds and blue, and there's a whole lot of blue pieces. But without every single one of those blue pieces, that whole picture isn't complete, and it doesn't matter how pretty the scenery is with all these supposed cornerstone important pieces, because I'll tell you what everyone's going to be looking at, and it's a fucking piece that's missing. So we all have the cornerstone.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
And I understand exactly what you're saying. That's why I listen to others more than I listen to what it is I have. You see? That's what I'm saying. I think everybody else's piece is more important than my piece. What I'm saying.
No, they're all equally important.
Well, when I say more important to me it is because those are the pieces that I needed. See what I'm saying?
Richie, absolutely, they are as important, not more or less important. Okay, so
I'm not saying that, right?
Well, yeah, you have said it a few times. And I'm going to remind everybody.
You're interpreting. I always tell you, Kate, that we're equal.
Nobody's a victim here. No, there's no victims here.
There's no victims here. Okay, it's a very specific way of thinking, and I hear the program running all the time with people, and if I have to be the cunt of cunts to get this out of people, I don't mind that. I hate it, but I don't mind it. Okay, someone's got to do it. The fact of the matter is, each and every one of you is God. Each and every one of you is the most important cornerstone and the least important cornerstone. Do not think in terms of duality. Do not think in terms of someone else's piece is more important than yours. That's duality. Richie, your piece is as important to me as mine is as important to someone else. That's called singularity. This is when we put all of these pieces together. So I'm here to make you right. And when I hear duality speak, that's ego trying to make you wrong. And I will never allow that, and I'll beat the fuck out of it. Promise.
I don't have duality, Kate. Like you said, I have a contrast.
Oh, geez, Richie,
I got
you put yourself in a state of lack so much, brother.
I got a toolbox.
Your words,
I use.
I need. Dude, that is, all I hear in that moment is lack.
Hey, brother, listen to me for a second, okay? Because what I'm trying to tell you is I am the last game piece, okay? The end game. And if you don't choose to listen to me, that's great, because it is you, like I'm saying, who needs to listen to you, right? To get this through to you.
I'm hearing you.
You know, it is you who's going to get it through to you, not me, because it is you that is located within this time capsule we call a body. You see? And if you don't release what is in that time capsule, okay, you're going to be that time capsule. You're going to be in time, and time again and again and again. You see? So it's your choice.
Richie, okay, here, one sec, guys. I'm muting everybody out. It's going to be that simple. I'm going to mute everybody out for just a couple of minutes here. I'm going to make a couple of things real clear. Okay? So just bear with me, guys. Oh, we just lost Richie. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, let me just open up the lines again. The point being, all right, and don't get me wrong, I love when Richie brings things in, but I will tell you right now what was rearing its head, and all I could feel was a power play, and I know what's doing that, and it ain't Richie. I know Richie too well.
Oh. Just a moment. It's just a moment in time for Richie.
It is. That's it. It's all good. It's all good. We got to get through these things. You know, I remember being there.
Me too.
God, how much did we defend that? How much? Oh my God! I have a baseball bat with a nail in it, for crying out loud. Fucking, oh man, I totally get it. And it's all good. It's all good. We got Randy in the call the way, and Lynn as well. I wasn't planning on rolling over tonight, but I totally get the frustration that Richie is talking about. I really do, and I get where it's coming from. And I'll tell you that seed that's sprouting within him right now is the sense of how close we are at the end game, and it's just manifesting out in this way. It's friggin' awesome. Randy, Lynn, you guys want to jump in?
Yeah, can I, say something?
Please?
Please.
Okay, that's all I wanted. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy. I love you. Randy knows how to dress a point. He really does. Again, it's all good.
He just dissolved that whole tension. Like that.
Oh man, I tell you, it's.
I love you all.
I know, it's awesome.
Hey, so kid, I was really in kindergarten today, and
I know you were. How about you share that? That's a happy story.
Well, I was listening to 7 this morning.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was quote unquote teaching kindergarten. The kids are playing. I got 7 playing. You know, it's a beautiful world, I tell you, man. The shaman's in the system. Well, they're not. And so it's gone. My school don't have a roof. It don't have a flag. I'm there to watch it transform from the inside out. My imagination has already seen what is.
That's the shit, baby.
And so we didn't pledge allegiance to no flag. We were listening to Seven.
I love it.
And me, I know this projects everywhere. This isn't just Mike and his little neighborhood happening here. Me, you guys want to talk system, I go into the belly of the beast, where you want. Recognize we're already in many different ways and shapes or forms. I recognize through this that we transform from the inside out, whatever it was. Boom, that so-called charade is gone. We have a new imagination. We have a new imagining that is here for us to share, where kids can really play. Be kind in the garden again. And so, where else you guys want to share? This is where I'm getting serious here.
Michael, I want to really actually expand on what you're saying there, and this is a perfect personification of a completely different intent being in the system. When one is, and I talked about this with people inside the system before, they have the power to change it from within. It needs to be changed, right? So what you are showing in living form right now is someone that has walked in. We talked about this a little bit, not in any great detail. Any reservations you may have had or whatever, and it was the same concept. You're walking into the system with a different intent to take it down. And every penny the system gives you is actually working 1,000-fold against itself as well. So this is the change of intent of going in there to go, oh, cool, I'm going to use the system's tools against it. Give me a position of teaching children, and I will teach them the truth. And the 20 or 30 kids that may be involved are getting the seeds of seeds planted within their beautiful universes where they're not being lied to by a system. And they're going to have some powerful tools collectively as they move through the system that you are in and destroying it as a result. That's the difference of changing one's intent. If one's intent to be in the system just to get by and have a job and take care of their family and all the rest of it, well, then that's self-serving. Whereas in the situation that Mike is in, and thank you for such a beautiful allegory, where Michael has the opportunity to receive something from the system, get it returned back to be purified, right? Remember, this system is actually feeding its own virus now. Michael is the virus in the system, and the system is now feeding the virus to destroy it. That's the flipped over 180-degree shift in intent. You're no longer working to self-sustain. Mike, I have to ask, is that included in the whole thing? Yes, it is. The self-sustenance is already there with the intention of destroying the system that is creating the sustenance. What a perfect dichotomy. Take her down, baby. Rip it a brand new one.
Hey. That's awesome.
Inside out, upside down, and backwards, man. That's the shit. Yes. Thank you, Mike. You feel better about it all now? I think it's awesome.
I am. You reminded me of an anecdote, Kate, that occurred to me when I was a counselor at a church camp, and I had 12 or 15 kids from 7 to 11 chasing me once, and I was in great shape. I ran for about probably 30 seconds, and I just gave up and fell down, and they all jumped on me, and I remember that feeling of joy to this day, to this moment. And you've reminded me to remember that and live that. And that joy, man, right now,
Look at the seeds you plant, right? Now, for people, if someone is, let's just say, here you want a solution for the system, well, here it is. If one must take part in it to maintain at this point of level of your evolution, then change your intent. Go get something. Go get a job if you want to stay in that. If that's your paradigm, that's fine. Again, there are no wrongs here, okay? It's about intent. If it is your intent to have a job, then go pick something that will be very, very beneficial to shredding it, gutting it from the inside. If you must play in the system, then use its power against it. Use the fire from within against the system. If the system wants you working for it, then that's fine. You're just playing the game at this point, and every penny that they're putting towards you, it's yours anyway, it's in terms of energy, is now magnified 1,000-fold to feed you the parasite virus that's destroying the system that was feeding off you. So basically what it's doing is it's feeding upon itself 1,000 times worse. So if you're going to play in the game, there's a way to change the intent. You know, can you imagine someone going to say, an IRS office with this knowledge, with this intent, to go in and go, now you're working undercover, boys and girls. Now you're the virus, the hidden virus within, planting all the seeds. Can you imagine the kind of destruction you can create with access to government accounts, with access to cops and lawyers and all the rest of it? Can you, oops, better send this email. Oh, this came across my desk. Oh, send. You starting to see the picture? That's how you destroy the system with the system. So if you're going to take part in it, at least take part in it to destroy it. Because with that intent, you're now 1,000-fold stronger.
And that's the emerald table right there. Forever forward.
Yeah.
You know?
Fire with fire, baby. Only your fire is going to be burning a whole lot brighter. Seriously. Think about it. If you're going to work, then you might as well get the truth out. That might alleviate some of the guilt of, partaking of the horror. At least this way now, you're becoming the virus to it. The Trojan horse, if you will. You're the Trojan virus running around inside. And what is a Trojan horse? It's the hidden gift. So be the hidden gift. This is the battle of Troy all over again. Only this time, we're the Trojan. Works for me.
Works for me. Well, that was beautiful. Nice cleanup. Way to scrape that, squeegee that windshield off.
I want to hear about the kids. I want to hear what kind of smiles were on their faces.
Bring it, bring it, bring it.
Yeah. Oh, they got the highs, the lows, and all in between. I'll share you another aspect that I deal with. You guys talk about the Whore of Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you want to go visit the belly of the beast with me?
Please.
Seriously, let's.
I'll bring a spoon.
Because you know what? There's no fear. The system, and this is one thing that generally I would refer to as something impersonal. But I recognize the system is actually more personal than the beings who've been playing these kind of lead roles in the drama, whether it's in your life or on the news. And the so-called authority enforcers, the ones who are on the ground cracking heads. I don't want to give names to their positions. Doesn't matter what so-called job title you held, people do this anyways. And so what I'm getting at is the system, we call bringing down the system. The system for me, and it showed me many moons ago, that it showed me actually a kind of personal nature. And this was weird. I was just like, wow, did the system just help me? It's like, yeah, it knows what I feel. It knows what I think about it. And it welcomed me in and said, here. And I was like, wow, interesting. And on this level, I realized, guys, it's given us complete access to anywhere we want to go. So the people who were operating this system before are not. That's why you just see, how can the stock market go up? How can these guys be so rich? Because, man, we don't play in lies. So these guys just made up all this well, let's just call it hoodwinked bullshit. But get back to the point, and that's there's nobody in control of this system. So this system in itself knows it has a shelf life. It knows it has an end. And the beings, in a way, which is ourselves, who have been kind of propagating it up, playing still through it, this opposition game, and then we complain about the system. I'm like, yeah, the system's got its own inherent fucking bullshit, but it ain't blocking us anymore to deal with other aspects of ourselves who are still playing a kind of nasty game, whether it's with themselves or with others. And, well, we love all is self, so I don't want to see, as Kate reminded quite earlier on the show today, I don't want to see you do that to yourself. And so even in that ways, I'm glad of that remembrance of feeling that, well, okay, I'm not thinking ill will of you, but I'm quite clearly putting the reminder out there and the notice out there that, hey, you continue to do this to yourself, it's bye, see you later. And this is what's coming in. There's no sitting on the fence. There's no well, I don't know. There's no more of this. And this is what's coming clear, in this clarity. We're no longer divided by the light, or the darkness, or the white, or the black, or the white. We're no longer divided by this anymore. And, well, what can I say? I'm thankful.
Hear, hear.
Much. Hey.
Well, listen, guys. You rolled over half an hour. That was a bit longer than I thought we were going to. I just let you guys go. I didn't even get a chance to let everyone know that we're rolling into the recording now, but I figured you knew that. But anyway, if there are any last thoughts from people tonight, I'd love to hear them. And I think we'll wrap it up, because I think we covered a lot of beautiful things tonight. And I'm looking forward to hearing Richie and his experience. It's just got me curious, It's like I'd love to hear it. That's
He'll be back.
Oh no, I have no question about that. Absolutely. Again, this is just I understand totally, and I go through exactly what he goes through, probably on a daily basis. So it's all good. That's why I know what it is. I just kind of worked it out. But yeah. So any last thoughts? And don't forget, tomorrow I got a couple of shows. 2 for Tuesday. 1 to 3 p.m. and 7 to 9 p.m. And let's wrap her up.
Be blessed. Eclipse.
Yes, indeed. Blood moon tomorrow, boys and girls. Gonna go play.
It's actually today for me.
Well, yeah, it would be, yeah. All right, we got this one.
Aloha.
All right, guys. Well, much love to everybody, and yes, we'll definitely, change yourself inside, and the whole solar system changes with you. That's kind of how it works, and don't be surprised if you fire off an X flare. We've done it many times at this table, so let's shoot for some X flares and get that water purified. And yeah, I'll cover a bit more on that tomorrow too. So much love to everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. Lovely to hear, and I'm glad you made it today.
Me too. Glad you made it. So I'd love for everyone to show up here. So much love, everybody, and thanks for getting here. Take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Or no? Of course you are. When you claim to own someone else's creation that was given to someone or something else fully, does that make you a thief if you use it once you know this? Of course it does. Is ignorance or belligerent emotions of reaction a good defensive position in any situation? Yes or no? Oh, definitely not. Is it to someone else to sort out your contracts and the current situation of awareness once a basic truth is exposed? Yes or no? Definitely not up to someone else. It's up to you. We've each found ourselves in the exact same spirit trap, albeit from billions of different perspectives or life-in-a-body experiences. Where some of us found the trap and chose to extricate ourselves from it, countless others who see the trap are unwilling, in varying degrees, to take the requisite steps to make themselves known by and of their actions, and simply exchange the system whoremother with someone who is apparently going to save them. I offer to them the same operations manual they offered me. Oh, yeah, right, they didn't. Let me make this as clear and as simple as possible for everyone. There is one thread that binds the whole system together, keeps it destructively chugging along, allows for all our energy to be siphoned off by our consent, and truly is the one ring to rule us all until we cut this most vile of umbilical cords from ourselves. You see, the instant someone talks about name and all of the things that are attached to it, you get overwhelmed immediately with the depth of the trap that you are in. Because, sorry to tell you, everything in your current reality has always revolved around your name. As soon as you could understand what that sound was, that it was referring to you, and as soon as you learned how to write it out, of course you go to school and they drill it into you. You get completely separated from the true form that you are, pure source. When you start seeing the world of having no name, you immediately become overwhelmed at how deep people are ingrained in this game. People have no longer the ability to imagine their lives without one. That was the point of the trick. Let's make humanity so dependent upon a name that they don't own and that is attached to a curse that will keep us draining their power. As long as they keep doing that, we own their soul. And yes, they do. Lucky you, huh? Stop and think about that for a sec. I'll tell you, the biggest problem people run into is they look at everything at the same time. They get overwhelmed completely. Oh my God. My home, my family, my life, my car, my everything, my banks, my this, my that, my holy shit. Everything is attached to the name. How do I get out? Stop using it. But I know I've had the butts. Trust me. You think for 1 second I didn't ask the same question you're asking? You don't think for 1 second I was as terrified? Difference being, 3-4 years ago, I didn't have this knowledge that you have. So quit your fucking whinging. Huh? I'll tell you what. Why don't you use the same things that you wrote up for me? Oh, right, you didn't. Are you starting to see the gift now? When is enough going to be enough for people? How much more do I and others have to do in order to get you with your lips off the whore's tits? Where are you going to make the move? Where are you going to finally decide that your pure creative essence is worth far more than anything this physical, tricky reality is going to ever give? Are you so deceived into one single meat stick that you forgot your God? We are at the culmination point, in a point of our creative game, our history, that is like none other that we have ever experienced. We are at the forefront of ending it all, babies. We are the ones that are standing through the mill for the exact reason that I don't want anyone else to have to do it. And the joy of my game is I've been able to peel off countless layers of this system that you don't have to fucking deal with. let's just say I took that big roller coaster. A few of us have done this. I've taken that really, really big roller coaster, and we've been jumping on it for so long that it's almost flat. And you're still afraid to get on the fucking ride. Just a ride. We took all the big hills out of it and all the bumpy bits. You got the clear, pure truth of knowing what the name is. I didn't have this 3 years ago. This has been my quest. So what part of this are people getting? No name, no spiritual contact. Oh, but Kate, I love my bank accounts and I love my family and I love I know you do. I know that. So what's your point? Oh, I know, you can't let go. That's right. Most children can't let go of the skirt hem from mama. I get that. I had a hell of a time ripping myself away from it myself. But you got to do it, or it's okay. Don't worry about it. That dead whore will keep you going until you're dead anyway, so knock yourself out. So let me share this little bit of fun with you. And I cannot make it any clearer, because when people finally get this, you will experience the same thing I did. The system cannot come anywhere near you. And to do so, once you have this truth shield up of knowing you're not the name, when you finally let go of your fucking blankie, that's when the real shields show up. That's when the helpers show up. But I know you haven't seen this yet. I and many others have. And we'll stand on the rooftops and we'll scream it until you finally figure it out, or just fall flat in your face. Either way, that's your choice. I love you enough to say that's your choice, and not something I would do. And it's not like I didn't yell. It's not like I didn't, sit around 7 nights a week, because I've got nothing better with my life to do than cater to your needs. You're not the one that's been running around trying to keep on the air for the last 2 years. You're not the one that had everything. And I'm not using this as a victim statement. I'm trying to show a contrast of what you don't have to go through. Put this in the fucking mirror, guys. All right? I don't know how you're going to handle your individual. I know there are many people out there that are handling it, and they're doing beautiful at it. They know who they are. They're getting this shit. They're getting what I'm talking about. And they're seeing the magic for themselves. How many times do I have to read beautiful stories from beautiful beings that know their beautiful reality? And still, people have to ask the same questions. I am not here as the replacement for the mother whore of system to wipe your bottoms and wipe your noses for you. No, I've kicked everyone out of my nest a while back. And those still clinging to the nest, I'm just going to pick your fingers off until you either fall or learn how to fly. And either way, I'm going to let nature take its course. That's what any good mother bird will do. And sometimes the kids aren't ready to fly when mama pushes them out of the nest, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? This is where you learn to sink or swim, and I'm talking about sync up with reality. So here's a little bit of the spirit, what I've got so far. If one is using a name in any way, shape, or form, then one is in spiritual contract with intent to do so. It is therefore easy to see how much entanglement one has within the spiritual trap, given that all of humanity, for the most part, believes they cannot exist without a name. What is funniest about this is that the very names we use or have used were created by someone else, which in turn binds us to someone else's creation, especially one that was freely given in full ignorance by its creators, namely one's parents or other family member. So let's set up the logical proofs that every hungry ego needs to satiate all of its little doubts that I run into every single day. I'll do this with a few simple questions that require a simple yes or no answer. When you agree to do anything outside of yourself, you are in a contract with that external entity. Yes.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Outside the Box here on a Monday night. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, criticalmassradio.co.uk. What an awesome day so far. You know, what a treat this afternoon. Earlier today, well, standard from 2 until 3:30 anyway. Paul Giovanni had Sivan Bomer on with him, and Sivan went straight into pure download, and it was awesome. So I sitting back, kind of just having a little chuckle, listening, and my little coloring book out, my crayons, connecting dots and stuff, and I had a chance to pop on with Paul after Sivan for a few minutes just to share, my own thoughts of what sheer brilliance got delivered to the table again, which is, one of the reasons why when Sivan shows up, I just let him roll and we have fun and we learn all sorts of stuff. For those that want that, I think I have shared it on Facebook, and I know Paul had mentioned he will get it up on the criticalmassradio.co.uk archives by tomorrow, so it'll be actually available on the site. Pretty much all shows are available there anyway, but this one in particular is definitely one you'll want to listen to quite a few times. And one of the reasons why I say that is because while you may not understand in the physical sense the concepts that Sivan is sharing, don't worry, the real you hears it, and you'll hear those locks over the coming days popping loose, and you'll wonder what it is, but I'll tell you that's exactly what it is. Because one of the things that the true nature of you, is fully aware of, is truth. And while your ears and eyes may not hear or see it in the physical sense, these truth resonations, like the resonance tone of a bell that you cannot see, hear, and will travel through the void of a vacuum, that's what's happening. That carrier wave is carrying through, and the truth will hit home. Just keep revisiting things multiple times. One pass, especially the kind of stuff that gets dealt out like that, is not enough. Had to listen to Bill Donahue, of course, after the show, just to kind of chill my own brain out. And lo and behold, what was the name of the one he uploaded today? The Great Wedding. Isn't that funny how it all comes into play? Indeed, it is the Great Wedding. For those that are not completely familiar with the concept of the bride and bridegroom, they're allegorical statements that have been made very physical. It's essentially when you let go of the physical ego, that's when the bridegroom shows up to let loose your creation ability. These are very, very heady. I can't even really talk about them that much. They're just realities for me, and they are, in most cases, beyond words to share in a few sentences. And one of the reasons why I spend so much time writing essays, where I can sit with my thoughts quietly and, try to put them together where people can get them. And, I do my best. And yes, there are a lot of writings on my website, so I do want to go through and start putting certain things together with certain things that will make a clearer picture of the evolution of where we were and where we are and where we're going, right? Because you're not going to know where you are until you know where you've been, and you're certainly not going to know where you're going until you know where you are. So it's the Trinity, right? Past, present, future, all wrapped up in the same instant of now. Unfortunately, most people get caught in the vice of time or the victim mode, and they live by reliving past moments, and that's the broken calculator that will never calculate anything properly. And of course, with that in mind, then they will transfer that whole miscalculated nonsense into a future reality based on calendars and all sorts of other mind tricks of the spirit trap here. And and you're going to expect something good out of that? Yeah. Well, good luck with that. You got to clear the palate. It's like wine. Wine's the truth. Funny how that works. Before you have a meal, they suggested to clear the palate with a glass of wine, right? So clear the Narmer palate with a big bucket of truth, right? And which is a minimalization or occulting, hiding the true essence of self. You know, when someone thinks that they are just a name, what are they then? Well, they are the personification of that demon, that system mark of the beast. That's the beast. And, of course, the whore loves those little beasts to feed on. It's a reducing of natural spatial awareness, reducing all that you are to the persona of a name, summing your entire universe creation. You are all the universe. Look at how pigeonholed that is. Pigeonholed right down to a name or a non-applicable magnetic electric, which for me is removing it makes you the now applicable magnetic electric. All right, so I think we are living in a material universe because of the naming activity. Naming activity is the basis of false identification of self. All of our identifications are wrong. You are not your body. Check. You are not your mind. Check. You are not your higher self. Check. You are the source of all these and more. You are the source. Pure source. Source. Let that ring for a little bit. That is our true being. There is nothing less. Everything else is a vehicle. Nothingness is not a void. It is freedom from the naming activity. And yes, I also agree, Sean. I think we are getting somewhere. And for me, every spiral out always spirals back into the same point, and the same point is the name. And I think I've only got a paragraph or two because I was in a zone and I kind of left the zone and what have you. So I'll read a little bit of this essay that I have going here. And oh yeah, just saying goodnight to Ninja. She was going to be she caught the early show today, and yes, it was excellent. And yeah, have fun and sleep well when you get there. And much love for everything you do, Ninja. I'll tell you, if it wasn't for you, wow. See what I mean? We do this together. All right, so I've only got a little bit of this, but I think there's enough in this to raise a bit more awareness of it. You know, because I still get emails. I got another one or two or three today regarding specific things that people, you know, what do I do in this situation? What do I do in that? Okay, I'm going to answer that very, very simply. I don't know your life. I don't know your experience. I don't know your spiritual contracts. I don't know your situation, but I do understand your doubts. I do get that. And they're exactly the same ones that I had, that I didn't have anybody to go to, so I simply followed my heart. If something I felt was not good or benevolent, I stopped doing it, regardless of consequence. That's simple. And I cannot tell anyone to do or not do something. That is entirely up to you. But I will make it very clear. I will make it crystal clear. The card table that you are sitting at right now has your entire reality, your soul, your pure source on the table. What are you willing to do to make sure you don't lose it? And I know these are not the easy questions to ask. They never are. But I asked myself these things. Let me see. Constant repetition of being a meat stick, Groundhog Day after Groundhog Day, to the point where either I wake up or fall even deeper into the void, soon to become non-existent, or do that now. Oh, well, hey, shit, there you go. I'm going to do it now because I got a really cool level of awareness, and anyone tuned into this show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. No point in waiting around, huh? No time like the pre-sent, huh? So it's time to pull up the big boy manties and big girl panties and get on with it. I don't know how you're going to handle the gas bill or the electricity bill or the mortgage. I'm going to tell you how I handle it. I just stopped doing it. But I'll tell you something. That was 3 years ago. Am I still here? I'd say I'm kicking and screaming pretty good. That's the thing about truth. You can never get your fill. And that's a fact. So I am working on on an essay right now called The Spirit Trap, to try to outline it in very simplistic terms. And I'm going to go over to Facebook, because Sean had posted something extremely relevant. Well, everyone always does. I can prove everything relevant. Give me enough time, and I'll find the angle for it. See, you're right. You're going to be right every time. It just depends on where you're standing. But I thought this very poignant, given the conversation that Sivan had with Paul today, and of course what we've been talking about for the last long while with regards to the name. And that's effectively what Spirit Trap is going to zero in on. It's going to zero in on the spiritual trap, or the spiritual contract, that people just... It is such an overwhelming thing to realize that anything attached to your legal name has you enslaved as a spiritual or soul slave, right? Where your true essence is being siphoned off. And look at the word siphonic. Psi, spirit, phonic, sound, siphoned. And that's exactly how it's siphoned off. That's how your energy is taken from you in this physical sense. And it's all trapped in the language, or the tongue pledge. Right? So keep that in mind. Every word, every sound. As I was talking to Paul earlier today, I'm going to get to your post in the section. Just want to preamble with this. Now that I forgot what I was just going to say, it doesn't matter. I'll just looked at it and it just hit me. So here we go. Let me get into Sean's, and then I'll come back to what I was talking about. Okay. Now this is a post from Sean on Facebook. Thank you very much for this. This is a nice grab, by the way. As we delve further into the abyss that is the name fraud, there are, as it were, landmarks. Early on, it's all about definitions and terms, legalities, and deceptions. As we dig a little deeper, it becomes a personal journey of discovery, as we realize how attached we have become to the name. The question soon becomes, well, if I am not a name, well, what am I? My own investigations, sometimes being rapid learning curves, and at other times have led nowhere significant. And then I found these profound comments on naming activity and reification given to adepts by the Buddha. Many already know the Buddha said all the world is Maya, or mind. Of course, Maya also means illusion. That's what I'm going to get to, the duality of sound. That's what separated our light. So here, we continue on here. So Buddha, here he talks more specifically about the naming activity. The naming activity is known as namarupa, to reify or reification. And of course, I'll delve into those words in terms of the phonics. Remember, the sound of phi is sacred geometry, pure creation, 1.618, the golden mean, if you will. Okay, so now listen to the word again. Or it could be Rhea, right? So there's Mother Earth, Gaia. So Rhea, Phi, Ka, Shun, which is spirit Shun. So the creation of spirit Shun. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a very positive direction. Yeah, me either. Okay. Now, reification is to regard or treat an abstraction as if it had concrete material existence. In essence, it is giving an ethereal concept body, matter, energy, creation. If you give a name creation, what are you creating? Well, you're creating the demon of that. The invisible demon that is not under your control until you understand this. Best get that demon off your little back, huh? I think so. It'd be a great idea. So naming or tagging, tying, labeling, categorizing, codifying, and every one of those words has so much in it, just looking at them. Anyway, creates division and separation. Yes, it does. The naming activity is used as a means of controlling. Identifying with the name is pigeonholing, continuous reference of a false identity. or id entity, more accurately pronounced. Binding the person's sense of self to their name